Are the Kali Audio LP8 studio monitors any good? In this video, I'm gonna tell you if they're worth buying or not. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. As many of you know who follow this channel, in my studio right now I have some Focal Alpha 65s, Kali Audio LP6s, and recently Kali Audio sent me their LP8s to check out. And I know I teased this video a couple months ago, but I've had a lot of things going on and now I'm getting to it, and I'm here to share my opinions on the Kali Audio LP8s. So let's get right into it, but before we do, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also down below in the description, there are a bunch of links to the gear I use in my studio. If you like anything, use those links to purchase it through Amazon. That also helps the channel grow. There's also links to my website and also the music that I put out through my bands and also my solo project. And fun fact, recently my solo music crossed the 100,000 monthly listener mark on Spotify. So thank you to everybody who has listened. Right now, I think I'm hovering between 85,000 monthly listeners and 110. It kind of bounces back and forth between those two numbers from month to month. So thank you everyone who has listened. All right, the Kali Audio LP8s. These are very similar in a lot of ways to the LP6s, except for the main thing that's different is it has an 8-inch woofer versus a 6-inch woofer. Now this video is not necessarily a comparison between the two. I'm wanting to do that as a separate video. I'm gonna mostly try to focus on just the LP8s in this video, but I might reference the LP6s from time to time because of their similarities. So who are the Kali Audio LP8s for? I feel like they're for someone who is starting to take their craft more and more serious. Maybe you've upgraded for some cheap studio monitors that you might have gotten, you know, a pair for $100 from your local shop or something like that, and you're wanting to up your game when it comes to studio monitors. And these studio monitors, the LP8s, will put you in the price range of about $500 for a pair. And as I mentioned earlier in this video already, with the LP8s you get an 8-inch woofer and then a 1-inch tweeter. And each one of these studio monitors are 100 watts of total power. And on the back of these, just like you'll find in the LP6s, you have dip switches to help you set up the studio monitor for your room. And I've mentioned previously that I think this is a great idea because I feel like if you're giving someone who might not have the best treated room or someone who doesn't necessarily know what they're doing, you might set up your studio monitor wrong. So having dip switches, I feel like gets you in the right realm right off of the bat. And on the back of the studio monitor, it kind of gives you a description of if your studio monitors are placed here or here or here, talking about the distance from the wall, things like that. It's very easy to set up and it gets you started on the right foot. And along with those dip switches and description of how to set up the studio monitor, you'll also find a volume control and your power switch. So now I'm gonna get into my first impressions of the Kali Audio LP8s. So like I said before, I use the Focal Alpha 65s in my studio, and I've also used the Kali Audio LP6s quite a bit. Let me tell you what, when I hooked up the LP8s and started bumping tunes through it, I was so blown away with how big they sounded. And just for comparison, the LP6s they start at $200 and the LP8s are $250. And honestly, they sounded much better than $50 difference. The LP8s to me sounded big. And one thing that I was very curious about is before, again, if you follow this channel, you know that I used to have BX8As. I bought those because I wanted an 8-inch woofer so I didn't have to run a sub. This is my thought process way back in the day. I didn't have to run a sub in my apartment at the time. Fast forward, I ended up getting the Focal Alpha 65s and paired them with the sub so it has a nice, well-rounded sound. Well, I am so confident that if I would have had these Kali Audio LP8s way back in the day, and I don't think they're even around, many moons ago, I would have probably never upgraded to the Focal Alpha 65. Not saying they're better than those, but you get so much low end out of the LP8s that I never got out of the M-Audio BX8As. They truly are night and day, and if you look at the prices of what they were, or what they are, and what the BX8As were, they're pretty similar in price. So I feel like the bang for buck on the LP8s is, I don't know if you can beat it, truly, honestly. And so with the 8-inch woofers, some things I've noticed on, I'll say kind of more budget-friendly studio monitors, between maybe $150 to $300 per monitor. I feel like if you start going into the 8-inch woofer realm, you start to kind of lose some of that mid presence, which is very important. You tend to get more of a scoop sound. That's just what I've noticed. So when I heard all of the mid presence from these LP8s, I was honestly floored that there was that much mids, that you know, it sounded that full. The spectrum was so full. And I set them up and I actually just listened to music just for the fun of it for about 2 hours on them. Then I pulled up some projects on my own that I've been mixing, listened to those, and I was truly impressed, and I was A/Bing them with my Focal Alpha 65s with the sub and the LP8s. I will say that the Focal Alpha 68s with the sub is more of a full round sound. That's what I'm used to. I also have them set up for this room. The LP8s I kind of set up in the secondary area almost right where I'm sitting, so it was not really set up perfectly for the room, but they were not far off of a setup that's 3 times as expensive, approximately 3 or 4 times more expensive. So again, I go back to the bang for buck. The LP8s I feel like are hard to beat or not possible to beat, in my opinion. From the studio monitors I've worked with, I've listened to, I've fiddled with, I think bang for buck, they're #1 right now. So that kind of goes up into me wrapping up this video. If you're looking for something that you want the low end, but you don't want to have to buy a sub and you just want a studio monitor that can handle the low sub frequencies really well, and you're on a budget and you're wanting to spend $500 on a set of studio monitors, I would say absolutely buy the LP8s from Cali Audio. I do not think you'll be disappointed, especially if that's where you're wanting to take your craft, maybe step up and get the next level of studio monitors. I think your mixes will improve so much. If I went from my BX8As to the Cali Audio LP8s, my mixes would have been so much better, so much quickly, that doesn't make any sense. So much quicker. My mixes would have been better, much quicker. So I hope you didn't come here to watch this video to hear them, because if you were to hear them, me playing music through them, that doesn't make any sense, because then you're gonna actually be hearing what my microphone picks up and then through the speakers that you're listening to them on, so it does them no justice. So I'm not even gonna, I mean, hopefully you know that coming here, you're not expecting to hear what they sound like, because you'll never know until you have them in front of you and you're listening to your favorite music on them. So that pretty much wraps up this video. 2 thumbs up to the Cali Audio LP8 studio monitors. If you're interested in purchasing them, I will put a link below. If you purchase them through that link, it also helps support the channel, which I greatly appreciate. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you later.